That's true, but
I said you wait to the end.
There's a moment in the correspondence with Creeley while he was in the Yucatan that Olson writes about his appreciation of Uxmal. He makes two, which is one of the great sites in Mayan cultural history. He makes two observations. One is that he hated the architecture. He found it dead. He found it to be the architecture of fascism, of an imperium gone dead. That's what Olson said. It's dead and ugly architecture. Then the other thing he said, which I would put against Yepes, is that the ordinary Mayans are living a life in which they are subjugated basically as servants to the emerging tourist trade. So again, Olson is finding a reason to condemn consumerist society in at least his visit to Uxmal. It so happens that in Uxmal is one of the most significant poems by Octavio Paz. And when Paz looks at Uxmal, he sees the figures dancing along the walls. And it's not it's like Quetzalcoatl and Kukulkan come to life for Paz. I had planned, and maybe I will conclude, by reading my poem on Uxmal. And in my poem on Uxmal, the present doesn't allow me to have the kind of proprioceptive or arrogant or solipsistic status to make a claim and say something like, this is the ugliest building I've ever seen. In my poem on Uxmal, there are threats to my identity, including my loss of my identity papers. So to me, I'm trying to take Olson one step further in a poem like this, and I'm trying to use this architecture of building with units as they emerge into a realization of why I'm even writing the poem, but I am taking a stance that I think is less maximal and more minoritarian, to use a Deleuzian statement. Here's my poem in any case. Uxmal. 2 times to Uxmal is dovecote and macaw's roost, impossibly recursive. On the first return, unexpected confidence in my abilities to navigate the jarring topes in the road, identity, papers, passport, and the required folleto de migración turística mislaid, not where I expected to find them on my return to my room, compromised, self, panic at the old year's end. No magical purpose at work here or in the recovery. Near noon, I had been splayed on a high platform for a sun god's inspection, exposed, post-operative, on offer, on the lawn of the palace jewel box of ancient authority. Children played with jaguar and diviner. From my perch, I examined the bedrooms where girls fetted before sacrifice. Fields and shrub forests in the distance, remarkably green towards the north coast. Do they burn the earth to destroy the thorn bushes? Potentia fructicosa, morning glory, red darts from a fennel where I had wandered into uncharted ruins. Descending the 99 stairs, a small, incautious boy tottered on the brink of a well. I called out, "Cuidado." Happily, he did not fall. I acquired a guidebook to Mayan ruins with reprints of drawings by Catherwood and daguerreotypes by Charnay. Also, a puppet with an arm-long sleeve, wearing typical Yucateca costume, and a teepee. No great awakening in these details, only that my tourism seemed almost joyous, setting aside, for reasons of conscience, my status, consumer without identity in an impoverished land. At night, on the second return, Era led me into Munya, known for its workshops that specialize in reproductions. Museum security had recovered my papers from the floor of a stall in the men's room where I had urinated, dislodging the passport from a waistband when extracting the bills. With my papers restored, I was able to view the sound and light show, Son et Lumière. Turning to my left, so often I take the long way around, assuming that on this night, naturally, it was the night of New Year's, I might be one of only a few there, gingerly stepping over grates that house floodlights, then turning about face to find myself on the opposite side of the quadrangle from the crowded stands on the north wall. Chop, chop, stereo prayers to end the drought. Quetzalcoatl, his form, wound among the puck friezes, illuminated blue, then green. How can I explain that the serpent god has a female aspect, the Venus Lucera? On this night I had intended to meet my scorpion woman, my Shango, Santa Barbara, endless New Year's Eve, dawning on a desolate balcony overlooking an empty plaza, supping on cream of cilantro soup, desiccated pork chop, and white carriages waiting to transport lovers to balls in mansions on Avenida Montejo. Why I read the poem is I felt I became part of the consumerist spectacle by taking the wrong turn in the sun and light show. So I was actually walking over the illumination, and the illumination was occurring through my shadow while the crowd sat there. Anyway, thank you.
Let's hold the discussion until either during lunch might be the best place to do it. So in all fairness to Roy, let's give him enough time.